Hello, hi, my name is LaJasly Ray. I am coordinating audio analysis on iStation for Brainbase 520 at Grand Canyon University. iStation was published in 1998 in Dallas, Texas. The company resides here in Dallas, Texas, and it's the Imagination Station is the actual name for it. Some of the authors I'm going to list that helped create this actual online learning tool is Dr. Patricia Mathis, who's from Texas Instruments, Chair of Reading. Dr. Joe Torres, PhD, Director of Emeritus of the Florida Center of Reading Research. Dr. Janine Herron, and she's actually one of the neuroscientists, psychologists for dyslexia at the Research University of California. I'm going to discuss about 4 characteristics that goes into learning, and I'm going to start actually but first I start talking about the actual test called the Computer Adaptive Testing, which will be referred to as CAT. Actually, what iStation does, it actually is a tailored test, considered one to be a tailored test, because it actually assesses the students. If a student's miss a certain answer, then it gives them a less difficult answer to kind of find out where the student's performing at or where the student is at that time. Once the students is actually, it gets an actual reading on where the student is at, that's where it will start to pretty much build the student gradually throughout the iStation modules. And then opposite and opposing of that, if a student actually get it right, then of course it's going to go into a more challenging question to see where that student is at. I'm going to talk about pretty much the continuous monitoring of advanced reading skills. It did mention, according to a report from Foreman, Santi, and Berger of 2007, that I guess overall teachers may find it difficult to group students based off the specific needs shared by several students. So for its differentiation instruction or grouping students based off the data, it may be difficult for certain teachers to kind of meet specific needs or kind of knowing or diagnosing what's the actual issue with the student. I'm going to talk about that later on with personal experiences from my district, which is Lancaster Independent School District here in Texas. Significance of assessing. We're going to go through word analysis, which is going to be our first one for is what you need to know, for its reading, and it's going to be word analysis. Accurate and automatic identification of multisyllabic words is critical for comprehension. Now, how does iStation assess this? Through spelling. Students are asked to spell multisyllabic words that are carefully selected from syllables, with syllables, affixes, and roots. Okay, so students will get a variety of that and different words, and it will assess them based on how they answer it. Fluency, number 2, that was mentioned in our actual chapter this week, was reading fluency does not cause comprehension, which was stated, but it does play a role in reading success. How fast or the speed or the rate the student is able to read can determine if they're going to can contribute to comprehension. It won't teach them comprehension, but it contributes to them getting the main idea or the facts a little bit quicker. How it measures that is measuring text processing speed, of course. It breaking words into 3 tiers. Tier 1 means that words students are likely to know. Tier 2 words that appear frequently in context. And Tier 3, words appear rarely in text. Okay? Like regardless, I think was one of the words that it had mentioned. For a student to be considered or its advanced focus for iStation is going to be the Tier 2, of course, and the Tier 3. Okay, and I will talk about those later for our district. To continue on, one more for fluency. How it measures actually fluency is every 7th word is blank. So if you're reading, when you get to the seventh word, it's going to be actually blank. Students are given a word choice bank to fill in that blank. Okay, so it's pretty much probably going to be monitoring their speed of actually doing that. Significance reading comprehension, teaching how to think while reading is going to be the next one. Advanced reading, how it measures advanced reading for comprehension is provide growth. Actually, what it's looking for is providing growth and diagnostic information to teachers. It assesses the main idea, cause and effect, inference, and critical judgment. It's going to be the four things for underneath comprehension that it actually measures. And I think it gives a variety of questions to the students to be able to work those different topics: main idea, cause and effect, inference, and critical judgment for iStation. My experience with iStation is that it meets the students where they at. It is a tailored test, as it mentioned, so I now have knowledge of that terminology. And it actually grow them to different levels, but it gradually grows them. If you try to start teaching students on grade level content and they're not on grade level content, then that's going to become another issue when it comes to reading. So that's one thing that these teachers like about iStation. iStation is very interactive. It has like a little animations. The kids are really engaged in it. So you really don't have to worry about too many distractions for the classroom. If you want to work with one-on-one independent groups while the students are on iStation, that's usually how we do it in our classrooms and in our district. Our goal from iStation, from what I've noticed, I am a special education teacher, so I'm looking at general population. Our goal is to move the kids between tiers. Definitely moving them from tier, if it's one tier, if they have growth all the way to, depending on where they at, because they may be so low where they can only make growth into one tier. Hopefully, ideally is to move students 2 tiers if need be, or if they already advanced, have them get stronger in that area. The teachers actually, now it's stated that the teachers had difficulties based off reports overall, that they had trouble with grouping. We actually used iStation data to group students for differentiation instruction, because if it codes them at any level where it's fluent, it doesn't matter, at tier 1 or whatever, we definitely start trying to work on bringing them up with guided instruction. iStation is not something that you would use as mainly teaching reading. It did provide reports that it has to have guided. Students still need guided instruction from the teacher. So it's not something that can be used totally for just teaching or assisting with reading. It's like a supplement, but it's it has a very good report for as student achievement. That was my actual report or audio analysis on iStation. Ms. Jackson Ray. Thank you.